everyone. Welcome to you who are joining us virtually, and welcome to you who have braved the elements to come and be here in person. Glad you're here. My name is Andrea Asebedo. I'm the senior minister here. And every Sunday I've been offering a gratitude, and I was thinking about what I'm grateful for today. And every once in a while I want to take the time, and I invite you to take this time with me, to just go in your imagination with me as I say these words. Because I know that in every rainforest, every village, every shoreline, every hamlet, every city, every country, in all the places where sacred humans dwell, there are those who are working tirelessly to lift people, to hold them in the highest regard, to assist them in finding a way to heal and reveal their deepest nature. In every place and in every way that these healers are at work, please know with me that they have everything they need, whether it is the spirit to continue in the face of great difficulty, whether it's resources, small and large, whether it's knowing that there are people like us sitting here on a Sunday morning, holding them in thought and in love. May they know that their work is vital and that we see it and support it. And now we'll take you to our band.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All of my life, all of my life, I'm gonna let it shine. All of my life, I'm gonna let it shine. All of my life, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light, let's sing it out. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh yeah, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, 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 let it shine. One more time. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Well, good morning, everyone. Take a minute to greet your neighbor. Give a little elbow bump. And hello, all you folks out there on social media. We're glad you're tuned in, too. Place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 My soul is welcome here.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Andrea Wood, and I am the practitioner this morning. I invite you to join me in prayer. So breathe with me this morning and know with me that there is one consciousness here in this dance of life, this one presence and one power, indwelling. This presence is unlimited love and a divine essential goodness. This presence lives at my core and at the core of all beings near and far, and at the circumference, inclusive of all, loving of all. And I know with this one spirit indwelling, my interior landscape is illumined with contentment, with peace, with generosity and loving kindness. And having these qualities imbued within me, I live these out in my life, in the world. And it is a wonderful way of life. I am thankful and grateful for the spiritual community. I am thankful and grateful that I know the truth about my nature. And as we come together to celebrate this morning, I'm so thankful that Spirit is here. I release my word in confidence that it is done, and so it is.
With these eyes I will see, with this heart I will be, opening wide, turning inside, I am listening. With this love I will lead, with this grace I will breathe, deepening peace, fear I release, I am ready to receive. Spirit, know my name, call me home, and light these darkened days. Oh, Spirit, show your truth in all we do. this heart I will be opening wide, turning inside. I am listening. With this love I will lead. With this grace I will breathe. Deepening peace, fear I release. I am ready to receive. Spirit, know my name. Spirit, know my name. Call me home and light these darkened days. Oh, Spirit, show your truth in all we do. Let love be our legacy. With these eyes I will see. With this heart I will be opening wide, turning inside. I am listening. With this love I will lead. With this grace I will breathe. Deepening peace, fear I release. I am ready to receive. Spirit, know my name. Call me home and light these darkened days. Oh, Spirit, show your truth in all we do. Let love be our legacy. Spirit, know my name. Spirit, know my name. Call me home and light these darkened days. Oh, Spirit, show your truth in all we do. Let love be our legacy. Oh, let love be our legacy. Yes, let love be our legacy. We've got a special song for you today. It was inspired by Andrea's theme. I never quite know how well she'll stick with the themes she sets, but I know that the I know, but it's true. But I know we're good today.
We're good.
Follow, follow the sun, which way the wind blows when this day is done. Breathe, breathe in the air. Set your intentions, dream with care. Today is a new day for everyone. Brand new moon, brand new sun. Follow, follow the sun, the direction of the bird, the direction of love. Breathe, breathe in the air. Cherish this moment. Cherish this breath. Today is a new day for everyone. Brand new moon, brand new sun. When you feel love coming down on you like a heavy wave, when you feel this crazy society headed to the Strand, take a straw to the nearest waters and remember your place. Many moons have risen and fallen long, long before you came. So which way's the wind blowing? And what does your heart say? Follow the sun, and which way the wind blows when this day is done. Breathe, breathe in the air. Set your intentions, dream with care. Today is a new day for everyone. Brand new moon, brand new sun. Today is a new day for everyone. Brand new moon, brand new sun. So follow, follow the sun, the direction of the bird, the direction of love.
Spot on. Spot on. Yeah, we have a new theme this month, and it's called Reaching Out, or Keep Reaching Out. And it has to do with actually engaged science of mind. So for years, I've been studying with a Buddhist teacher, and the tradition that I follow is from the Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh, who essentially created the term engaged Buddhism. And so I wanted to talk about engaged science of mind people and what we do with that concept. So I'll be doing that all month. This particular talk is actually really important. So if you're listening virtually, I hope you're listening to this one first, because this one makes a point that will inform the others of this month. So reaching out has to do with taking what you know and bringing it into the world in some way, which is an encouragement that they often give you. And I brought this today. I was actually wearing it earlier because this scarf was purchased in Santa Fe when I was about 30. And when I was 30, I didn't have very much money at all. And I kept going to these ministers' conferences. And at the time, it's changed, I'm glad to say, but at the time, The ministers wanted to go to the most expensive resorts and the most expensive places, and it was a kind of a see how prosperous we are kind of thing. And so at 30, with 3 little children, I would go to these places. My mom who is an accountant, was like, "Can't you tell these people that this is just a waste of money?" And I'm like, "No, I can't." I had an interesting mom. She's on the altar. So Santa Fe at that time, and still to this day, is a very expensive place to be when you're in the tourist section. And my friends, my older friends who are ministers, really love to shop, another thing that's not really my thing. So they wanted to go shopping and they invited me, so I decided to go, very honored that these older women who are ministers, who are successful, wanted me to go along. And they went into shop after shop, which was extremely boring for me, and also brought up the fact that almost nothing was possible for me to buy if I had even wanted to. And so finally one of the women turned to me and said, "So I noticed you're not buying anything." And I said, "Well, first of all, I'm not a shopper, and second of all, I really don't have the disposable income at the moment to purchase these lovely things." And she said, oh, didn't anybody ever tell you? And I'm like, "What?" She said, "Buy what you can, even if it's something small, as a statement into the world that you can." So I bought this scarf, which was a really big purchase at the time. I think it was $30 way back then. But why I brought it today is because the essential message, cut to the chase, is do what we can. And now I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. The title is actually Reach for the Highest Aspirations. And I got the words aspirations from Louisa May Alcott. I don't know if any of you read any of her works when you were younger, Little Men, Little Women, things like that. But she was also a companion and part of a group of people that were discussing these deep spiritual ideas. And one of her companions was Ralph Waldo Emerson. And so because I'm an Emerson person, I then began to read Nathaniel Hawthorne and the Alcotts and all of the Thoreaus and all the people that were in that circle. This is what she said: "Far away there in the sunshine are my highest aspirations. I may not reach them, but I can look up and see their beauty, believe in them, and try to follow where they lead." And for me, this is incredibly important because I don't know if you've noticed, but in our society right now, there's a lot of despair. Anybody? Yeah. And there's a lot of anger, and there's a lot of hopelessness. And I think it's in part due to the fact that nobody read Louisa May Alcott. No, not really. But, okay, maybe. But more than that, I think it's very easy to lose sight of what we can do in a global situation where there is so much despair and hopelessness. It would be easy to join the masses in that and throw up our hands and just carry on living as we've lived without making any changes. All the while knowing, of course, that we have to make changes or we won't live. There is a dilemma there, And so for me, I want to mobilize all of us here in this sanctuary, but anyone who's listening to this message, I'm blatantly going to be mobilizing you. So how am I going to do that? Well, I want to tell you a story. I wrote about it in the minister's message on the website, so you can read it there. But the founder of our philosophy, Dr. Ernest Holmes, also was a student of Emerson. And he was living in a time when World War I was happening. And World War I was appalling. It was appalling at its crudity, its severity, and its bestiality, really. And so Dr. Holmes, who was teaching the science of mind at an early age, even then, went in with his brother, Fenwick, and they were living in Los Angeles at the time, and they opened what was then called a sanatorium. We would probably call it a mental health hospital if we had any of those left. But at the time, it was a sanatorium. And they were inviting shell-shocked soldiers to come and stay at this place that they had created. And shell shock, just in case you didn't know, now we call post-traumatic stress disorder. And so these were soldiers who had seen battle. They had possibly lost friends, lost family members, lost limbs, and above all else had lost hope at what they had seen and experienced. And so they were invited to come. And Dr. Holmes and his brother essentially created an atmosphere through prayer, our form of affirmative prayer, and perhaps maybe even more importantly, through love, an atmosphere of healing that brought these soldiers into their lives again and out of PTSD. And when Dr. Holmes talked about it in those early days, what he said was that most people think of love as a romantic idea between two people. But the form of love that is available to all of us, to all, I call them sacred humans, to all of us, is a love that actually is a power. And it's a power for good. And it moves in us when we allow it in ways that are astonishing sometimes. Ways that we didn't even know we could say those words or do those actions or be that presence. That's the kind of love that he and Fenwick were practicing. And it was a power not only for good, but of healing. And so, of course, when I heard that story when I was very young, 18, I immediately wanted to learn how to be that, how to actually invoke that power and utilize it so that there could be healing and an atmosphere that would hold people in a powerful embrace of the truth of their being. And so I studied, and I know many of you in this room and listening have studied as well, and I studied hard. I really was committed. I wanted to know how to do that. I learned our form of affirmative prayer. I learned how to move into the depths of my own inner being and access something that was me but not me. I learned to bring it out in different situations and continually was astonished that this little old person who was birthed to these kind of cranky and judgmental people could find a way to do that, and that it worked. When I moved here, a person who had been in my former congregation came to visit. He had a yearly pilgrimage to Mount Rainier and a bond with that mountain. And he came in the early days of my ministry here. He came more than once. And after the second or third visit, he stopped me after a Sunday service and he said, "You know, I just want to tell you that every time I come here, you're smiling. And your smile helps me remember my own nature." And I said, "Well, I'm smiling because I love what I do, and I love who I'm working with, and I love the fact that love can heal." And he went and bought a house by Mount Rainier. So you have this power. And I wanted to make sure you remembered that, because that power applied changes things. So Ernest Holmes was my first teacher about that. And then after my lovely parents died, and they were lovely, don't get me wrong, they were wonderful. They're right here. They were incredible parents. I was so grief-stricken that I didn't really know what to do. And so I had heard about this Zen master, Thich Nhat Hanh. I didn't know anything about him. But on the very small inheritance that I received, I decided that I would go to his monastery in France because I had a feeling he could help me with my grief and teach me how to die well. because one of my parents had died very badly and one had died very well. So I went there, and I learned a lot, and it was a very powerful experience that also helped me transform. But for the purpose of this talk, I wanted to tell you about engaged Buddhism so that you could be an engaged Science of Mind person. So in the early days of the Vietnam War, Thich Nhat Hanh was not a Zen master yet. He was still studying and practicing as a monk. He had been a monk since he was 16. And in those days, destruction was happening through all of Vietnam. And those are the threshold singers who are going to practice before they perform for us. So he was sitting in his monastery, listening to the bombs falling, listening to the screams of children and adults, listening to the villagers' huts burning. And he started asking questions. He started asking, well, should I continue to just sit on my cushion, or should I go out and help the people rebuild their huts and bandage the wounded? And no one had an answer for him. And so finally, he said, this is not either or, this is both. And so he and his brothers would sit in the morning, and then they would make their way out to do whatever they could do to help rebuild and nurture those around them that were suffering. And out of that was born engaged Buddhism. But he was new at it. And so what happened was he began to gather lots of people, young and old, who wanted to assist him in the work. And so all of a sudden, he went from being a monk with his brothers doing this simple work to leading a movement. And people were very gung-ho and really anxious to help and, wanted to make things better. And so they would work and work and work and work in the field of trying to make things better. And eventually, they all burned out. Every single one of them except the monks. And Thich Nhat Hanh learned one of his first lessons. Without spiritual practice, you do good badly. That there's a component that held those monks in place so that they could do that work and not burn out. They would go back to their cushion at night. They would sit in silence. They would review what they had seen. They would let it go, and they would come into a place of peace again. They would wake in the morning, sit, bring their calm energy forward, go and help, come back. And so what he began to develop for lay people like you and me is what he called a lazy day. And if you were going to be part of his movement and you were a lay person, you had to agree to take one day off a week. And by day off, that meant completely off. Not thinking about, not planning, not scheduling, but simply taking a day of refuge in peace and calm. And so he taught the people how to arrange flowers. He taught the people how to string a hammock and then lay there for hours. He taught the people that that work was equally as important as the work that they were doing the rest of the time. And in that way, people stopped burning out. They found a place of refuge in themselves, and they were able to bring the power of love that Dr. Holmes talks about out into the world in a sustained fashion. So, part of what has to be known if you're interested in actually moving out into the world and assisting in whatever way you're called to, and that's one of the things I love about the Science of Mind, is we don't tell you how to think. We ask you to think, listen to your own heart, as Amber's song said, and then take the spiritual practices and understanding that you're learning here, truly practice them, and then go out and follow your heart in the ways that you're called. And we're all called in different ways. So I wanted to bring you, as a closing, a beautiful little video some of you have probably seen, but it's extraordinary in a lot of ways, and I thought you might enjoy it, and it has to do with what I've been speaking to. So let's watch.
So my question to you today is, what do you practice every day? What do you practice? Because what you practice, you will get good at. What do you practice? Do you practice joy in your life? Do you practice peace in your life? Do you practice happiness in your life? Or do you practice a lot of complaining? Because if you complain, you will get very good at it. And you will get so good at it that you will find fault with everything. Even when there's no fault that a layman cannot see, you, being an expert, will see it. What do you practice? Do you practice anger? Because if you practice anger, you will get very good at it. And you will get so good at it that the most trivial you'll think. Trivial thing will make you angry. Like sitting in an airplane and watching the sea across from you somehow looks better than the one you've been given. And that is so unfair of the airlines. What do you practice? Do you practice being worried? Because if you practice being worried, you will get very good at it. And you will get so good at it that everything will worry you, including the buffalo you don't have. So I propose, if this is true that it's a question of practice, then I propose you practice joy.
Yeah, I don't think I could have said it better myself, but if you didn't hear it, that's available on the StreamYard edition on our website. So what do you practice, was his question. If you practice anger, you'll get really good at it. If you practice worry, you'll get really good at it. And also, if you practice spiritually, you'll get really good at that, just like I did. It really is a choice. There's lots of reasons why we could be angry or worried or upset, lonely, sad, feeling misunderstood, and we can practice that. Or we can practice something else, and we'll get really good at it. And the reason that's important is because if you really are ready to go and assist in the numerous ways that our world and our society needs assistance, take the lesson from Holmes and not Hahn. Spiritual practice allows us to bring the power of love into the world through our actions in a sustained way that truly will make a difference. Let me do a prayer for that, and we'll close. Know with me as I know. There is a power for love in the universe that is present within all things. It is not the ooey gooey kind of love that we learn about on Valentine's Day. It is a force, a power, and it is a power for good that moves in sacred humans, it moves in animals and plants, it moves through all that is created. And this force, this power, is accessible to each of us. And so I turn my attention now to my own heart and mind, invoking that power, that force for good that I call love, to more fully flow through me and in me. What I know of this love is that I am willing to practice it so diligently, and in such a heartfelt way that love has no other choice but to become what I am. more and more fully. And I bring this love forward in small ways and in large, taking the spider out of the shower, putting it outside, bringing food to someone who's lost their husband, saying a prayer with someone who is truly suffering, being part of a global movement to regenerate the earth. In small ways and large, this power of love is moving in me and moving in you. And I am so grateful for that love manifesting itself more and more each day, globally. And so it is. Thank you. All right, our ushers are preparing for the offertory, and I'd like to invite you, if you would like to support the work that we're doing here at our center by donating. I know many of you already do, so thank you ahead of time for those gifts. And if you feel so moved, please know that your gifts are used wisely and well.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this love, Spirit. Thank you for this love. Thank you for this love, Spirit. Thank you for this love. This healing, this healing, this healing love. This healing, this healing, this healing love. And for peace, thank you for this peace, Spirit. Thank you for this peace. Thank you for this peace, Spirit. Thank you for this peace. This healing, this healing, this healing peace. This healing, this healing, this healing peace. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you. Let me tell you a little bit about what's going on. I wanted first to thank the incredible people that put together the Harvest Lunch last week. Wow, how many of you got a lunch? Oh, a lot of you. So Philip was in charge of the music, and his beautiful wife was in charge of the food. Joe was in charge of being a coyote. Clara was in charge of keeping us all organized, and she and Shelley and Steve and Hermine, well, they were in charge of the flamingos. So we had a great time, and I want to thank you all for the help you gave to make that a special thing. We have a new thing happening, and I wanted to make you aware of it. And if you're interested, then by all means, please just let us know at the office by emailing us. One of our practitioners, Joanne Allison, has been providing what are called care cookies for those experiencing homelessness. And these cookies are really not exactly cookies. They are high protein, high fat. They're probably nutritionally the most important thing that many of the folks that she's been making these for get in a day. And she gathered 6 of the community members here to help her do that last year during the winter. She would really like to make that happen on a larger scale. And so she's inviting any of you that would like to jump into the Care Cookie team to consider emailing us and letting us know you're interested. And she will have a Zoom meeting with all of you to let you know kind of the logistics, which are fairly simple. The cookies have 4 ingredients, so it's not going to take a master chef like Lori to make that happen. And then we don't even deliver them to the people experiencing homelessness. We deliver them to a volunteer that then distributes them far and wide. Often these cookies are the only meal some of these folks get in a day. So if you'd like to be a part of that, please consider emailing us and we'll get you on the team. In the back, you'll see these beautiful people. They are the, I know, these are the Threshold Singers. And maybe not all of them, but yeah, Clara's like, not me, I'm not, no, I'm the only one without a scarf. But the Threshold Singers are a group of wonderful singers who go to the bedside of people who are dying and sing. And we've invited them here today to be part of our Day of the Dead celebration. And so after the service, if you'd like to be part of that, you don't have to have anybody on the altars to be a part of this. They're going to sing for us, and then we're going to invite those of us who would like to pick up the picture or the memento that we brought, say the person or the animal's name, we'll say it back to them, and we'll do that as a very simple ritual, and then the Threshold Singers will sing us out of that. So you're invited to come. This is our closing piece for the altars. Tonight at 5 o'clock, though, there's going to be a wonderful discussion on Zoom about death and all of its many facets, which maybe doesn't sound fascinating, but you should try it. It really is. And so it's called a Death Cafe. It's being offered by Zoom. The only thing you need to do is get the Zoom link, which is in the calendar on our website, and maybe bring a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and a little dessert or something to go with it, because that's the tradition. And then you'll be directed by Joanne and Heidi in the ways of discussing different facets of death. That's today at 5. Goes for an hour and a half. Men's group is going to be meeting next Sunday, and it's a hybrid group, so you can join either by Zoom or in person. And Philip Flores can answer questions for you after the service if you'd like. He's at the soundboard today. And our women's circle will be on the third Sunday of this month. Both of those, the men's and women's circles, start at noon and go to 1:30. They're both hybrids, so you're invited to join one of those if you would like. And one of our practitioners is doing a really cool thing. She is a ministerial student, and she is wanting to create a blessing and Thanksgiving video for all of us. And so she's already organized music and things like that and images. But what she would love is if you would be willing to go on our website. There's a form. Let me read you what the form is. You go to the website, and then it's called A Gift of Thanksgiving. That's the link. And when you hit that link, you'll be taken to a page where you think about what you're grateful for in this last period of time, and type in those words. It doesn't have to be anything other than words. And what she's going to do with the words is she's going to put them into the video so that they'll sort of come up during songs and images. So we'd love your participation in that if you'd like. And then don't miss a wonderful book study that is starting November 22nd, and it goes from 6:30 to 8 p.m. It's on Zoom only. And it's based on a really beautiful book that teaches about the art of gratitude and blessing. It's called The 29 Gifts. And it's being led by one of our practitioners and assisted by another one. So we'd love you to be a part of that if you'd like. To register, you can contact the office through email, and they'll send you the link. And then I'm doing this interesting thing. I have a friend, I think I've been telling you about him. His name is Jim Kramer, and his dream in life was to lead people to sacred sites around the world. And so we went with him to Ireland 3 years ago. And we're thinking about going to the sacred sites in Portugal in the fall of 2022. And we're having an interest meeting where we can talk about the trip and also answer any questions. And Jim is going to be on that Zoom call. So if you're interested in going on a sacred tour to Portugal, by all means, jump on that Zoom call, and we'll try to answer your questions. And there's lots more, but I think that's enough because I don't want to keep the Threshold Singers waiting. So we'll sing one last song. I invite you to, is it a stand and sing one? Stand and sing, and then we'll bless you on your way.
Today and every day I'm gonna dwell upon the good. Today and every day I'm gonna dwell upon the light. Today and every day I'm gonna dwell upon the peace. Today I'm finding gratitude for all that's right. What we dwell upon, we become. What we dwell upon, we become. What we dwell upon, we become. So let's dwell upon the good. Today and every day I'm gonna dwell upon the love. Today and every day I'm gonna dwell upon the grace. Today and every day I'm gonna dwell upon the joy. Today I'm seeing God in each and every face. What we dwell upon, we become. What we dwell upon, we become. What we dwell upon, we become. So let's dwell upon the good. What we dwell upon, we become. What we dwell upon, we become. What we dwell upon, we become. So let's dwell upon the good. Yeah, let's dwell upon the good. Thank you all. Have a great day, and stick around if you want to stay for the Threshold Singers.